there are some really toxic behaviours that are keeping coaches stuck at around 10k per month in monthly recurring revenue. And I mean like super toxic behaviours. There's almost nothing structurally wrong with businesses at this point. It's always the attitude of the founder because they're new to business. So that means that you can have a look in the mirror and answer these questions that I'm about to ask you truthfully and honestly, and you'll find yourself unsticking, where you are right now and being able to move forward in your business. So if you recognize yourself in any of these, that's a good thing because it means that there's nothing actually wrong with your business, there's just something wrong with the way that you're spending your time. The first thing is redesigning your website, canvaing a new logo, or building Notion dashboard. Now there's a time and a place for all this jazz, right? But these are the number one signal that you're playing business at the moment, right? You dress this up as working on the business, but the only reason you're doing this is that you're scared to go and do the hard, high leverage things, such as doing more outbound, generating more leads, getting yourself in front of the camera, working on your sales ability, driving more internal revenue, whatever it is, right? Or you just don't know what to do, so you try and stay busy because being busy feels productive. Now, when we as business owners get given jobs inside of our business, we rejoice a little bit. Maybe a client project is going to take a lot of time for you to do. Maybe you need to go and do check-ins. These are the mundane working in the business operations. But actually, sometimes you're required to do things that require creativity and don't have an obvious path forward, such as generating more leads. And this in the inexperienced, and I mean I'm still inexperienced, business owner can create states of tension where they don't know what to do. So you revert to doing things that are effectively mental masturbation, at best procrastination, in order to make you feel like you're busy. Because we in the 9-to-5 slave Western mindset think being busy is the answer. It isn't. Creating leverage is the answer, but the way that you create leverage when you're under 10k per month is by doing more, right? But you just need to know what to do more of. They're just difficult tasks. So if you find yourself avoiding any of these tasks in exchange for building dashboards, then you know where you stand, right? The other toxic mindset is I just need more leads. Well, the likelihood is that you aren't bringing through ideal clients into your program. You're just bringing through anybody. So you're having to overfulfill because each individual client creates a bespoke scenario inside your business. Your sales process probably feels full of friction and you're probably undercharging or never being able to justify a higher price point because you're not solving the problem for the person who the solution was truly designed for. So you don't create as much internal revenue because you aren't solving a really high leverage problem for a client, and as a result of that you aren't building a back-end system where when clients come with you they stay. The good thing about softwares and why softwares sell for such large multiples when people buy them is because of the subscription model. It's the lifetime value model. You need to think about having a service where people never leave, and if you're forcing anybody into your service and they get in there and they're slightly deflated with it and it doesn't feel absolutely fundamentally necessary to them, they will leave. So whilst yes you need more leads, I'd love to know what you're doing with the leads that you already have, because you're probably not doing enough. And those leads that are coming into your program, they're probably not the right leads. So you actually need to be working on your positioning at all times. So because one client reaches the end of their initial term with you, which always comes with resistance by the way, they're never able to re-sign because there's no crescendo path forward for them. When clients come with us, they re-sign or renew the majority of the times because we have something to offer them, always because they came in aligned with what we do. Now, another answer is that you're giving away too much free stuff in the DMs, in the comments, or on discovery calls. Now, you should always lead with value, but the majority of the time I see people doing this because they're scared about asking prospects to commit to the next level. Oh, this one's deep, right? Whether that's committing to a call or committing to a close, they stay in the pocket of providing value and avoid asking the prospect to move forward. Now, if you're absolutely over-convincing prospects in the DMs, they're clearly not watching or consuming or being moved by any of your content, or they're not watching it and feeling like it's aligned with them. This is either because they're a non-ICP fit, your positioning is no bueno, right, or your content just isn't very good. But your content should be the thing creating value, and yes, you should have personal touch points to a degree to create value along the lead generation and sales process, like pre-call resources or lead magnets that you give to people in order to get them to book a call. But every touch point that you give to people should be inciting them to take an action forward or encouraging them to make a commitment, right? You should be leading the prospect to make the commitment to give you more and more of their time and intention. So if you find yourself over-committing to prospects, I want you to have a look at the conversation that you're having with them if you're giving them too much free value and no one's committing, and start seeing how you can start to weasel in more opportunities to go, hey, look, I'd love to discuss this with you on a call. This is the exact sort of issue that we solve in our business, and I think that the help that I'm giving you now is going to pale in comparison to what I could show you on a 60-minute roadmap call. How does this sound? That's how your DMs need to sound, right? Another really toxic trait is blaming lead quality when you have no visibility over your sales process, okay? And look, at 10K per month, you're probably the person who's responsible for your sales process, but if it just looks like you're booking people in for a call by sending them a Calendly link or writing a time down on a piece of paper and phoning them at that time, sending them a Google Meet link and having a conversation with them, you have no right to blame lead quality, right? And with a gun to my head, I'd be fairly certain that you aren't contacting your leads quickly enough, right? So your sales process then probably allows people to slip through the cracks, and your ads or content isn't congruently shouting about solving a problem that your ideal client perceives as worthwhile acting upon, right? So what this does is you get apathy through your funnel. You get leads answering the phone and just don't even know who you are. And this can happen at all times, it happens to us, but you have little intent if this is the thing that you're suffering from, right? And your closing ability is also probably poor. The job of a sales team is actually to create the belief that you are blaming the lead for not having. That's your fault. You're probably the sole closer in your business right now at 10K per month, or the sole person responsible for the sales process. Well, guess what? You have to get good at wearing a salesman hat. People don't give you their phone number in exchange for information about what you do because they want to have a chit chat. They have a problem and recognise that they have a problem, and they've also recognised that you have a solution for that problem, regardless of how poor quality those leads are. So if you're having absolutely awful conversations with leads, you need to have a think about where in the sales process have I allowed these leads to, or where in the sales process have I failed to generate belief in these leads, okay? Now, the other thing is projecting your discomfort onto your clients. So the lie that you tell yourself is that they don't want to be called quickly, a direct call to action would feel pushy, I don't want to seem needy, that sounds really salesy. It's always the talk of broke people, right? None of those are reads on the client. They're you describing yourself. Yes, sales is uncomfortable. Obviously it is. Call to action sometimes in content are uncomfortable. Asking people to book in a call with you is uncomfortable. Asking for payment on call is uncomfortable. But they're uncomfortable because they're super high leverage things, and the discomfort that you feel in that is almost like the universe transmuting and allowing you to move to the next stage of that sales conversation. Asking for payment on a call, most difficult thing you can do, but guess what it also does? It also secures the paper for you. Asking people to book in a call with you can feel slightly awkward if you're having a conversation about value, but the reality is that that's how you're going to get the opportunity to pitch in front of people, okay? So stop projecting your own weaknesses and discomfort onto clients, because that's a you issue. And the biggest one that I see is people treating ad spend as a cost to minimize, right? So the lie is that I need to be careful with money. I don't want to spend too much on ads. Yeah, of course you do. You want to go through a testing campaign, but every pound you don't spend, giving that you have working unit economics, is a pound of profit that you're refusing to take. So once you've justified that you are profitable with your ads, right, guess what that is going to do? It's going to allow you to get yourself to the point of capacity. Well done, you just have to spend more. Yeah, the word is spend. I could jazz it up and say invest, but you have to spend more. But if you have a working model that shows you that £1 of ad spend equals 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pounds back, you should be in a race to spend as much money as possible. And yeah, you might get to the point where you've reached capacity in your business, and then you come to me complaining, going, I can't spend any more on ads because I'm out of team members. Go and hire more people. Because if the mechanism for you to create demand is already there, then it's your responsibility to build the infrastructure to support it. It's also your responsibility to know your numbers adequately enough for you to actually be able to go, hey, this isn't a cost and this spend is generating revenue. So obviously none of the clients in our program are actually suffering from these problems, but most of them were suffering before they came to work with us. And if you want to see what some of those transformations look like for our clients and have a look at what they might look like for yourself, just remember that the link to our landing page and our video sales letter and our application form is in the description below. So check that out and I'll see you on the next one.